Hello, this is Hanan. I'm Palestinian. Calling Palestinians terrorists for just like resist the occupation or what Israel do to them, it's like quite problematic as well, in my opinion. So first of all, we have to point that there's an occupation of Palestine. If we don't mention occupation or apartheid, like with the apartheid regime that Israel has, and this is according to an Israeli like a human rights organization, that Salem, and Human Rights Watch as well. So if we don't point those things out, like we can't reach a solution. But in reality, there's like the occupied and the occupier. There's the oppressor. So this is like important to point and at this
It
stage.
is very important, Hanan, and it's important not to wait until the very end to try and burn bridges rather than build bridges. I pointed out at the beginning that both of us, the Palestinians and the Israelis, would have a lot to agree with the introduction, and we would probably both of us have things to disagree about the introduction. I don't think it's right of you to try and burn bridges. I think we're trying to build bridges.
I'm not for any bridges, but this is the fact that we have to point. Like the power imbalance here, it's quite obvious. Israel is a nuclear state, so you cannot put Palestinians who are unarmed, who got nothing, and put them like equally at the same state with Israel, who has a nuclear weapon. We have to point like some international violations and violations against the human rights that Israel do. We can't just like turn a blind eye of like everything that happens and like just focus on the reaction instead of focusing on the action itself. So for Palestinians, like for them, it's like a resistance. Like the West Bank and Gaza, they were occupied like for over than 50 years now. And now like you are blaming Palestinians for like defending their land. Just keep like turning a blind eye for like what is happening in Palestine. It's ongoing ethnic cleansing since 70 years now. And Israel recently, like the clashes between Jewish and Arab citizens of Israel, they're trying to show it as a civil incidents between citizens. But in fact, this is an apartheid regime that is like giving Jewish supremacy for some people, and like to give them those rights over another Palestinian citizens who constitute 2 million in Israel, inside Israel. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Hanan. Uh, Now, I just want to clarify. I don't think in my introduction I stated that Palestinians were terrorists. I never said that. But there were certain suicide
Sorry,
bombing
you
is
were
a terrorist
talking. Yeah,
activity.
yeah.
Suicide bombing is a terrorist activity.
I mean, but in Palestine-Israel conflict, it's not the case. I mean, if you occupy someone
You mean
else's land,
in Palestinian land, suicide bombing is not terrorism?
no, I mean, if you take the context itself, like if you come and occupy my land, and if I want to defend my land, if you call me terrorist, there's a problem here. Because from the very beginning, you neglect people who came over and stealing my land, and then you're accusing me of being terrorist instead of pointing the action itself, pointing the occupation. So this is my problem. I mean, this is the
Okay, all
context
right.
itself. It's not clear.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.